never easy. The Padres had been rolling. They were 12-3 over a 15-game stretch, and now they're struggling to score and win. They've lost 3 straight. They lose the series opener, Seattle, after an off day. They didn't have to throw Adam Mazur today. They elected to. Everyone was on normal rest if they wanted to close before the All-Star break by doing that, but they elected to throw Adam Mazur, and he was roughed up again. Didn't make it out of the 5th inning and allowed 5 runs. Padres fall tonight 8-3 to the Mariners down at Petco. There's actually a lot to react to. Mike Schill post-game, what Manny Machado told our Marty Caswell before the game as well. We'll get to all of it as you make your way in. Please subscribe. We have year-round content for Padres fans. We are the home of real Padres talk. So if that's what you're looking for, please subscribe. Smash the like button for us. You can follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We'll get to every single super chat tonight. We appreciate your support of the channel. Click the $ below the chat box. If you want to become a member, you can do that as well by clicking the join button down below. This was really ugly. It was 7-0. Yes, Cronenworth and Higashioka both homered late against an all-star in Logan Gilbert, but Padres trailed 7-0. Wandy Peralta leaves due to injury. They had 4 hits again in a game. Adam Mazur was roughed up again, and the Padres again lost. They've lost 3 straight, Jim, and they're 49-46.
I said this on, was it Sunday night? Friday? I don't remember when I said it. But I did mention at some point in the rest of this season, they're going to have another 3-game losing streak. They're going to have another stretch where they don't play good baseball. You just hope that the stretch where they are playing good baseball, they get as much out of it as they can. They squeeze all the juice out of that lemon, right? They get as many games above 500 at this point playing your best baseball. So when you do have another bad stretch or you do lose 3 in a row, it's not going to feel like the end of the world. The problem with this team is the second after they get done playing really good baseball, they give it right back, it seems like, every single time. Does it not? No, they haven't given it fully back.
Feels like it, yeah.
There's still 3 games up. You go 2-2 here, and you're 3 games at the break. I think a month and a half ago, we would have taken that in a heartbeat. Anything less than that, you feel like you've given it away. You go 1-3 or worse here, and then now you're under 500, or you're only a game up, and it then feels like you just gave away all the good work you put in to get to this point, even though Mike Schultz does not like to look in the past. Also, another revelation after tonight. Why even care? I mean, the expectations for this team, according to Manny, are stupid to even talk about. And why have expectations? I mean, why should we even talk about this baseball team anymore, John?
Are you going to call out Manny right now? Well, let's play that because I have it. Now, have you seen it anywhere other than Marty's Instagram?
I saw it on
the
flagship station.
Did you see it on YouTube?
I didn't see it on YouTube. I just saw it on the
okay, hold on. I have it. Station. Hold on.
To put out there,
you hear
expectations.
This, right?
I mean, I think we expect to go out there and win every single day.
What's going on? Can you make it bigger?
Of being in the playoffs every single year, when you have this roster and you have 5 guys that are all-stars, does it just amplify that expectation even more?
You see, I don't like the word expectations. I think that's something people always like to put out there as expectations. I mean, I think we expect to go out there and win every single day. I mean, this is what we play the game for. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to be a loser, so we got to go out there and play our game. And I think, whenever you have guys playing well, things go well for you. But at the end of the day, it's about what this team could do day in, day out, every single night. And, this whole team has been doing it every single day for the whole year. So we got to continue doing that. And I think that's expectation we have in here as a group is to do that. Expectation. Look at that. You say it now. I got to say it. Stop. That's why I don't like the word, because now you're putting it in my mouth. I didn't say the word. You're putting it in my mouth. So you see, that's why I don't like words. That's why you guys always put us in these situations. And then now we get caught, and then now I'm all over social media because, you put something in my mouth, which I didn't say, and now I just keep repeating expectations. So, no, I mean, we just got to go out there and compete, continue to compete. I think we got a really good group of guys here that, we can do something special this year, and we're going to continue to thrive for that.
I mean, if that isn't Manny Machado to a T, and by the way, if there isn't a little like AI, like Allen Iverson in that, if that's happening, I have to say this, and we got that sound at 5:45 today and couldn't play it on John and Jim. Yeah. If that's happening in New York, Philadelphia, Boston, I don't know about LA, probably not, San Francisco, that is so topical. That would be really hard to escape. That's the type of soundbite that you would hear over and over and over again. And honestly, he slid completely under the radar today with that. And that happened in the 5 o'clock hour. He's played well. Teams played well, relatively speaking. But what is he even? I mean, we'll have to play it again later in the show. What is he even talking about? He's going out on these islands and these tangents. And Marty asked a reasonable question. He spends 2 minutes talking about expectations like AI talked about practice. I can't believe he went there. There was no reason to do it.
Dude, when I said just stop talking, there was a moment where if you just stop talking, like, it's fine. But the second that you say what you say about, like, don't put the words in our mouth, like, just give me a fucking break, bro. It was a question. She wasn't putting any words in your mouth. Again, I've said this multiple times. Listening to Manny Machado speak is at times like listening to nails on a chalkboard. I much rather just watch him play baseball and just critique him, not even critique him, but just like talk about him playing baseball. Like, I'm not going to critique the guy. Like, I say he needs to be better a lot, but critiquing a guy, he knows more baseball than I'll ever know. And he's obviously one of the best players in baseball when he's right. But like, listening to him speak sometimes, it's just insane. Just go out there and play baseball, bro. Because whenever you speak, you come off like kind of, I mean, I don't know, dude. It's it's insane. It's like,
it's fine because he's played well on the team. I'm not gonna spend an hour on it. If they were 6-12 in their last 18 games, not 12-6. If he was hitting 222 in his last 18 games, not 322 or whatever it is, even with tonight, it's a bigger story. What matters most is his bat. His bat's got to talk. Yep. His play has to talk. And by and large, for 3+ weeks it has. And the team, even with the 3-game losing streak, has been good. We have to remember that. The 12-6 run is a 12-6 run with a 3-game losing streak. Like you said, you would have signed up for this a month ago, 3 over, as opposed to 3 under. So it's just something to remember. He's got to back it up with play, is my point. He can say whatever the hell he wants. When it isn't going well, you're going to be called out for something like that. When it is going well, you're going to get away, and it might fuel you when you say something like that. Again, a month ago, I probably would have hammered him for an hour on that. Tonight, maybe not, but it's very peculiar behavior is what I would say. He said the word expectations, 16 times there, 20 times there? I don't know what he was doing. I really don't. I don't. Was he trying to be funny?
I actually don't.
I don't know.
His answer, honestly, like, it didn't bother me until the point of like, you're putting words in my mouth. No, she's not. She's asking you a question. And I know he joked tonight on Twitter, like, oh man, he doesn't like expectations, so you shouldn't care. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I'm joking. But that's what happens when, you start going down a path of taking a perfectly legitimate question and trying to flip it and going at the media for it. Like, dude, all we've talked about since you've gotten here is expectations. Like, that's it. If you are not, and look, I know maybe sometimes we have too high of expectations for this team because maybe they're just not good enough. But if the expectation every year isn't World Series while Manny Machado is on the team in his prime, then what are we doing?
He didn't say they weren't, by the way. Like you said,
No.
He could have cut it off 67. He's like, we come here expecting to win. Almost like,
yeah,
of course we expect. Like,
yeah.
So, but then he completely like cancels out everything he said by following through this little like tirade about, like, he's like, I don't really like the word expectations, but we expect to win. Well, then you do actually like expectations because you expect to win. Here's the issue. In 2023, all they had were expectations, and they fell on their face.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start putting that into the ether, into the atmosphere, hey, expectations, you guys have won a lot recently. Could you be the top wild card? Could you win the division? Like, whoa. Slow it down. we were done in by expectations on our shoulder. Now we have no expectations and we're playing well. So don't put expectations back on us because it was costly to our run or to our success or lack thereof in 2023. It's all stupid and ridiculous. Who cares what Marty Caswell has to say? Who cares what media members ask? That's truly their job. Marty is a credentialed media member. When she asks something, players react to it, and then people discuss it. It's truly their job. But for Manny Machado to get flustered every single time there's San Diego media members at his locker, that's on Manny. It's not on Marty. Simple as that. End of sentence. End of story.
Yeah. This team gets triggered way too easily by just like certain words. And again, it doesn't matter if they win. Who cares? Like we've said, Schulte can be as positive he wants post game, no matter what, if they win. But if you don't win, it's a problem. Now they have won recently and they've been much better, but the last 3 games here have not been good. They've been really bad. And so you're just looking at this situation where they have an amazing stretch and then they just kind of are on the verge of giving it right back right away. And
we'll see.
On the verge, I'm not saying they have. I'm just saying like they're potentially going to do it.
Well, here's the deal. Here's what's happening in real time. Their bullpen is beleaguered. They have the stat tonight on Padres.tv. I screen grabbed it. Here's their bullpen since May 29th. 29th in ERA. 29th in opponent batting average. 30th in opponent OPS. 29th in WHIP, opponent WHIP, WHIP, walks and hits over innings, and 26th in save percentage. That's the Padres bullpen since May 29th. Not over the last week. We know the bullpen's been terrible the last 3 games and the last couple of games against Arizona. But since May 29th, their bullpen's thrown way too many innings and has not performed particularly well outside of a Robert Suarez and a Jeremiah Estrada, even though Estrada's been somewhat ineffective over that stretch as well. Now you lose Wandy Peralta. I don't know how significant of a loss it is, but now you presumably lose Wandy Peralta. He left with a groin or an ab injury. So we'll see. But it's you got all kinds of pitching issues. Adam Mazur can't start in the second half. You're not going to feel confident if he's doing it. He doesn't give you length. And then your bullpen is leaky for weeks on end here because they've been taxed. So it's 2 problems here. It's a chicken egg thing. Is it the rotation? Yes. Is it the bullpen? Yes. That's what I would say about their issues right now with pitching. Is it their starters? Yes. Is it their bullpen? Yes. And AJ Preller is going to have to make some really savvy moves to turn that thing around, is what he's going to have to do.
Yeah. The main thing is separate. What he says in the locker room or in the clubhouse, excuse me. Just whatever. It is what it is. You're never going to be satisfied with anything Manny says. I think we just have to kind of realize that it's just about his play mostly. And there's going to be many more instances in his career where he says something to the media or says something after the game where you're just all like, the fuck are you talking about? Or roll your eyes in the back of your head or whatever. Just go out there, play good baseball, and no one cares. It just, and that's it. So then moving to the team, yeah, you're right. The bullpen, losing Wandy Peralta, that could be a loss. Not by, he's doing well. I just mean by a body,
he's an arm,
a physical body that they'll lose. De Los Santos is nothing. Yuki Matsui had a hiccup tonight. The back end's been good, but if you can't get there, then what's the point? And Adam Mazur, this is the last start we will see of Adam Mazur this year in the big leagues. I would think so, unless something catastrophic happens.
They didn't even have to start him.
No, I know.
So anyone's I can't believe he's strong. They decided to start him. Everyone's on normal rest. Nobody's on short rest. So they got another off day coming up. Everyone's on normal rest. They could have started Michael King tonight on normal rest. They didn't. It's a long year. And remember, Schultz said a week ago, we're not skipping anyone. Well, they may be moving forward because if they're not skipping anyone in the second half of the year, they're going to have a problem every 5th day until it's addressed.
Yep. I know.
And I saw Ben Fadden just tweet this out. I actually thought they were 4-3. He said they're 3-4 in his 7 starts. It's not the end of the world. 3-4 in his 7 starts isn't the end of the world. I actually thought they were 4-3. But here's what is the end of the world. He doesn't last 5 innings. Like
No.
if he's going 6 innings, 3 runs, or 6 innings, 4 runs, and you're losing and you're not taxing your bullpen, so be it. He's your 5th starter. He's going 3 innings and he's going 4 innings. So it's like a double whammy because he's ineffective. He's not providing length. You're taxing your bullpen. Again, you got a lot of off days here. The All-Star break's coming up. It's not the end of the world to quote unquote tax your bullpen. But I mean, what do they do coming out of the break, Jim? I mean, it's not like they acquired a starting pitcher during the All-Star break, and they play 9 consecutive games on the road. Why wouldn't add a major pitch out of the All-Star break? They have some big acquisition they're going to announce after the All-Star break. I would think he will start after the break.
Darnay just texted us, and he makes a good point. I won't say what Darnay tweeted or texted us, but like what Schultz said after the game was essentially if he gave a couple runs less, he would have a good outing. Like
no, he didn't even say that. He said if he gave up fewer runs and went deeper into the game.
Yeah, and if I could shit out money, I would shit out money. Like, what are we talking about, dude? I mean, it is the pattern of when this team loses, listening to them speak is insufferable. When they win, everything is great. There's no in between. Like, there's no in between. I can't listen to this team, and it's mostly Mike Schilt when they lose, and when they win, it is the greatest thing ever. There's no in between. I mean, it's like combative and delusional when they lose, and when they win, then it's like everybody's like acting normal.
Kevin AC here. Let's take another shot at the media because it must have been Marty's fault for the question or Jim's fault for bringing this up, and my fault for talking about it.
My fault.
And it must be Kevin's fault for asking Mike Schilt post game as a beat writer reporter why the offense over the last 3 games has struggled and why they've had 4 hits each of the last 2 games against Ryan Nelson and Logan Gilbert. And Mike Schilt looked him in the face and said, I'm not going to live in the past on Ryan Nelson. Like that they had hit Ryan Nelson previously, but they didn't hit him on Sunday or whenever he faced him. Where what you could have just said is, listen, over 162, there are highs and lows. There's ebbs, right? Peaks and valleys. And over the last 2 games, we haven't swung it as well as we did previously, but we're confident in our bats, and they should be. Bats have been good by and large. They have. Even tonight on their 4 hits, they managed 3 runs. They were out of the game really because of their pitching, more so than their hitting. But like, there's no reason to answer Kevin in that manner post-game. There really isn't. I mean, are we missing the point sometimes that Mike Schilt speaks with the media every day? Why? Because he's required to. Why? Because the media is required to get quotes from the manager to put in their stories. There is no story without hearing from the manager. There is no story without hearing from the players. Don't you want that perspective, that insight, those nuggets? Isn't that what fans deserve? So,
I mean,
for whatever reason, Manny doesn't like expectations, and Mike Schilt doesn't like answering about 4 hits in each of the last 2 games. But this is the job of these individuals.
It's whatever. I mean, it's just whatever. It like we truthfully shouldn't even waste our time on like the bullshit that this team spews out of their mouth when they go through tough stretches, because it's just going to make us lose our minds. You know, like I don't want to be sitting here and talking about stuff that Manny said before the game and then Schilt after the game. And it just seems like it's always the case every single time. And maybe it's just us. I don't know, but I don't think it's just us. I think it's more people. I think it's a lot of people.
Well, I think
that are seeing this and listening to this and questioning, like, what this is not like behavior that I don't understand.
Well, I mean, to some extent, it's par for the course. I wouldn't expect anything different, truthfully, from Manny Machado. And in listening to Mike Schilt for 4 months, this kind of is who he is as a manager. There's been a lot of sound bites. Now it's our decision to talk about what these players and coaches and managers say to the media. But here's the thing: if we're not talking about it, where are you even getting it? You like if we weren't discussing what Manny Machado told Marty, where are you going to hear that? Is that going to be front page story? Is that going to be topical tomorrow morning, on the radio? Are you going to be seeing that and hearing that on YouTube? Isn't when we say we're the home of real Padres talk, I mean, wouldn't you want us to discuss it all? When it's good, we were with you for the 12-3 run, and we told you how good it was. Mm-hmm. And when they've lost 3 straight and they've had 4 hits in back-to-back games and their offense has been anemic and they're throwing out a Mazur out there and they're saying what they're saying, shouldn't we discuss that? Isn't that kind of why you're here? Isn't that kind of the point of the show, to be as unbiased as you kind of can? I mean, we're at it from a Padres perspective, but if you want us to just say, man, don't mention what Manny says off whatever, right, outside the white lines, then, there's other outlets for that. But I mean, you have to, because it resonates with us. Like, to not talk about that is a disservice. It's a disservice. And to not talk about what Mike Schilt says to the media is a disservice. Why would you come here just to be like, hey, they allowed 2 runs in the 8th? Man, they should have thrown a cutter there. I mean, nobody cares.
I know, dude.
I mean, hey, his 4-seamer is really running. Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, that's way too nuanced.
Right.
Like, this is more reactionary than nuanced, and it's a little bit of both. So, I mean, listen, there's 500 people here when they win, and there's 200 people here when they lose. So, I understand that, because we're all fans. I get it. When the Niners lose in the Super Bowl, you're probably not racing to the Niners YouTube channel. I get it. So I understand it from that perspective. But there's 200 people here live that want it to be discussed, and we can't only paint it with rose-colored glasses. There's good. They're 12-6 in their last 18 games. It's good. But they have real questions, like all these injuries, and and the trade deadline coming up, and their bullpen and their starting pitching right now.
That's the show, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to put it as bluntly as that, but
no, you're right. Everything you said there is right. It's 100% right when it goes to how this team is covered, how people get very sensitive when there's a critical tone towards this team, how, like you said, everyone loves it when they win. There's a million people here when they win, and when they lose, not that many. And then from a standpoint from the players and the coaches and the manager of the team, it's like, praise us for this, praise us for that. It's like, that's not how this fucking works. I mean, we're not going to sit here and just cherry pick all the good stuff. Okay. Because if we cherry pick the good stuff, you can go find that other places. All right. And I guarantee you, those people or shows or channels or whatever, they probably have a lot of people that love that stuff. That's just what it is. But that's not us. And, when they lose and there's problems and there's things said that are things that need to be questioned, or things that we don't agree with, or things that are just flat out fucking stupid, we're going to tell you. And that's a problem I think that this team and organization has sometimes, is they're so freaking lucky, John, that they're the San Diego Padres, because
they get away with more than they probably get away with elsewhere.
100%. And what Manny said today, and how Schilt is post game, every time they lose, I'm now, granted, there's only really a couple spots in all of baseball where it would be like, that you're signing your death wish and you're signing your pink slip. But again, the resources that have been put in this team, and the money and the time, again, it's just, I'm not going to let it just sweep under the rug, even though I really my head hurts sometimes, even just talking about this shit. But it is, we got it. I mean, we do it, and we have to do it, and we try to do it because no one else will.
How many times have you heard me say, I've said this before over the 3 years on YouTube, maybe we said on the radio, the easier show to do with larger viewership is the Positive Spin show. It's a much easier show to do, but it's an inauthentic show, and it's not accurate, and it doesn't tell the full story. Could we get more viewers that way? Probably. But in the end of the day, that wasn't the point. The point was to be unbiased and to critique, to be fair, but to critique. And that's how we've kind of carved out our lane. It might not be the largest lane that there is, but it's the authentic lane. So that's the lane I prefer to take.
And it goes to
some of the supers. Yeah, what do you got?
It directly goes to the questions that are asked to this team that are baseline, easy questions that they get triggered by. And then it's like, okay, fine. You want us to blow smoke up your ass? Not going to happen, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Listen, what I have to leave with this point because I have to make this point loud and clear. Padres fans deserve the commentary that we provide, in my opinion. Now, I'm biased, but they deserve it. It's too good of a fan base to not get the full story because they're getting the full story in New York and they're getting the full story in Boston. Padres fans deserve it all. They're too passionate. This city, in its current state, without the National Football League, deserves the baseball team to be covered like they should be covered. Simple as that. And that's what we try to provide. Not perfect. And you can disagree with us. Our opinions, that's completely fair. But know what we're trying to accomplish. And what we're trying to do is serve Padres fans for what we believe is fair because this is one of the best fan bases in baseball. All right, that one, Homie's Garage. Thank you for the super. Guys over here, subscribe. Year-round content, home of real Padres talk, as we just told you how it is. Subscribe, and thank you for the supers. Click the $sign below the chat box. He says, but if you don't see, this is the chicken egg stuff. But if you don't ask the questions, then players like Matt Kemp blame the media because the players don't perform. It's like, oh, the media is too hard. Oh, San Diego media is soft compared to Los Angeles and New York. Like, what do you want? This has nothing to do with the media, the team's performance, or individuals. Manny, Matt Kemp, whomever. You're fooling yourself if you think it has anything. There's any correlation between questions from Marty, Dennis, Kevin, John Schaefer, and anyone's performance. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a thing that the players are delusional about.
Right.
Like, if you want to have a vendetta against the media, go ahead. If it helps you go out there and play good baseball, go ahead. I mean, I get the game is super hard, and I get that, but you're also getting paid fucking millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. If you can't take a question about, expectations, I don't know what to tell you. Like, seriously, I really don't.
I mean, that's the most simple layup question.
Yeah.
When you have, if I'm in there and I have no question to ask Manny, I'll just be like, hey, what are your expectations? I mean, it's the most simple, easy question. Just
did you live it. Like, hey, Manny, you guys are 49 and 46 right now.
Are you meeting expectations?
Say the first half ended tonight, right? This is the last game. Manny, first half, 49-46. Do you feel like you guys met your expectations for the first half? And what do you think, maybe you could have done better and looking to hope to improve on for the second half? And he would lose his shit.
Dude, you don't know with him. You could ask anything.
And everybody would take it. And everybody's forced to take it. Because
I could be like, hey, you looking forward to getting Xander back? Huh. Funny you say it that way. Of course we're looking at you just got the point is they're trying to elicit a quote.
I know.
Like, no matter what you say, you don't know what you're going to get. Juan, thank you for the super. He says, Bauer, the girl lied for his money, innocent. Let me say this as clearly as possible. Trevor Bauer is not getting signed by the San Diego Padres or any Major League Baseball team. The Padres are pitching a guy with an 8 ERA. You think they haven't thought about this? They're pitching a guy every fifth day with an 8 ERA. If they wanted Trevor Bauer, they would have signed him. If the other 29 teams that have worse rotations than the Padres, not all of them, but there are teams with worse rotations and dealing with the same thing that the Padres are going through, you think they haven't thought about it? It's over. I don't know. I'm not his defense, nor I have no clue the reasoning behind it, but it's done, over, and finished, right? I mean, we're in July. He hasn't pitched in how long, Jim? 3 years? In the bigs?
It's as simple as actions speak louder than words. And right now, the actions of every single team in baseball tell you what you need to know about Trevor Bauer. It's not happening. It won't happen. I wouldn't waste 1 second on it if you're a Padres fan at all. There's no point in thinking about it because it's just not going to happen. And if your argument is, well, he's 12-2 in the Mexican League, and look at it as numbers, bro. Let me remind you something here. The players that he is pitching against in the Mexican League are basically like me and John. So the numbers
no, you players.
I'm being obviously exaggerating,
it's
but
not a bad league, but it ain't the major leagues.
But again, not happening. Okay,
it's not happening.
Not happening.
I
But
mean,
thanks for the super chat.
we see it every day. We see it every single day. And every single day I say it's not happening. We'll get back to the conversation in a moment. Please subscribe. Thank you for the super chats. We'll get to every single super chat here tonight. We appreciate your support of our work and this channel. We do need to thank our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz. He's been with it here on the channel since day one as our title sponsor. We've been talking to Mark throughout the course of the night. Listen, he's a lifelong Padres fan, a native San Diegan, and a great insurance agent. I've got homeowners, life insurance, and earthquake insurance through Mark. Switch your insurance. He's going to save you $750 a year or more. I mean, $750 or more just by switching your insurance. Click the link in the description down below, and you can get to his website on the screen. He does auto, home, renters, life, anything you need. Mark's going to take care of you. I had to file a claim 2 years ago. He saved us thousands of dollars. We were out of our home for 2 weeks. He took care of everything. He texts me to wish, Kristen a happy birthday. He checks in on me when there was a fire in Del Mar Heights. So that's what separates him. He's a great insurance agent because of his service and communication, and because he's going to save you money. So if you support the channel, you got to support our partners. As simple as that. Mark's been with us since day one. So if you have an insurance need, if you support this channel, if you want to save money, get in contact with Mark Nimitz at Farmers.
Yeah, all his information is on the ticker below, mnimitz@farmersagent.com. When you reach out to our buddy Mark, who I think went to the game tonight and not the best game to go to, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
All right, we're going to get back to the conversation. Again, subscribe and thank you for the supers like Nate. Click the $ below the chat box. Nate's saying, would you trade Kim? This has come up here today. Would you trade Kim if it meant getting quality bullpen pieces, slide Xander back to short? I mean, I would want more than quality, like a bullpen piece for a guy that started at second or short for the last 4 years and has value. He's a 2.5 WAR player. We talked about today, Jim. This year, he's a 2.5 WAR player. So, like, if I'm moving Kim, like, to me, it's got to be a part of something that's like substantive. But to your point, like, he would be a rental. And what are you really getting for him? It would have to be part of a larger package. So I'm really not convinced that Ha-Seong Kim is someone that I'm thinking about moving between now and the trade deadline.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I mean, especially because this team is very fragile right now. And the last thing you want to do is move a depth piece and a starter, frankly. I mean, he's not getting moved off shortstop when Xander comes back. When he comes back, I think even Schulte said it today. Like, it's going to be Xander at second and Crony at first. Like, that's what Schulte said. So to move off of a Ha-Seong Kim, the only way that was going to happen is if this team was 15 games under at the deadline, and they're not going to be.
No, they're not.
And they're not
near it.
Even if they're under 500 at the deadline by a couple games, they're still not selling. They're going to be buying because the National League wild card race is pathetic. So you move Kim for again, there's no value with moving Kim right now. And truthfully, what our team's looking at with Ha-Seong Kim, you're only moving Ha-Seong Kim to a contender. And a contender's not giving you a major league starting pitcher. So there's no point. And if you're moving Kim to a shitty team for a major league starter, if I'm the crappy team, why would I trade for Ha-Seong Kim when he's a free agent at the end of the year? And so he brings me really no value long term.
The only thing I would say there is money. Like, if I'm getting rid of like a frontline 30 mil pitcher, like a bad team, expensive pitcher, whomever that is, then I'm just shedding salary, I guess. It's kind of a salary dump potentially. Plus maybe acquire prospects. It seems like you're trying to fit a square in a circle by moving Kim, is what I would guess, because like you said, the team receiving him is getting a rental. Yeah. And what are you getting in value for that rental? Again, he's a high WAR player. He has been. He's a productive regular in the big leagues. I don't fully, and I appreciate the question, Nate. Like, I don't fully understand the like machinations, like, I don't know, of trying to move Kim. You know what I mean? Like, you got a lot of infielders. Is it so we got to get Donovan Solano on the field, or we got to move Bogarts back to short? Like I said, this stuff will figure itself out. And like you said, they're fragile. You move Kim and then you have another injury and you're screwed a little bit again. And they deal with this stuff constantly. So I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if Ha-Seong Kim moved. I really would.
Sorry, Juan. We're just I mean, we love you, Juan. Thank you. But we're just telling you what we think. That's all.
Why? What happened? What did we say? Oh, the Power?
I think so. Yeah.
No, I appreciate you bringing it up. I mean, because if you didn't, we wouldn't have referenced it. I mean, I understand the point. Guy's got what's he got? A 2 ERA, and he pitched in Korea or Japan. I'm sure he's an effective pitcher, but no teams have signed him for a reason.
Right.
Would he have a better than 8 ERA in the big leagues? Yeah, you better believe he would.
Yeah. The more you talk about it, John, about like they didn't have to pitch Adam Mazur tonight,
No,
and they
they
still
didn't have to pitch him.
did with a 7+ ERA. I mean, but again,
just throw Michael King.
Yeah, you could have, and maybe they lose 4-1 instead.
Yeah, maybe it's true. They only scored 3 runs. I mean, but then again, Michael King maybe gives you 6 shutout innings and you win 3-1. Nobody knows.
Yeah,
but you take away some of that second guessing. Like we circled the start for like 2 weeks. They got one start out of their 5-hole in 2 weeks, and we circled it. Like, I said it today on the radio. I said, like, you kind of got to go steal this game. You're a significant underdog at home. That shouldn't happen. It's because Adam Mazur's pitching. It's
Fact of the matter is, their bullpen right now is god awful. They're not getting enough from their starters, and the last 3 games offensively, well, actually, the last 2 games offensively have been horse shit. And they need a good start tomorrow from who's pitching tomorrow?
King.
King, yeah. They need a good start from King tomorrow, and they need to put some runs on the board. Like, that's just what it is, and so I know that Schulte hates looking in the past, but sorry, you did it. That's kind of how these things work. Like, trends are trends, and you don't just all of a sudden forget about those trends. Like, if you forgot about trends, then you're not moving Manny Machado down in the lineup to 5th. You're not moving Xander Bogaerts down in the lineup off the leadoff spot this year. If you don't care about past results, then you're keeping the same lineup every single day, the entire season. Matchup wise, you're not doing any different type of matchups, because if you don't care about past results, why are you making different types of matchups? That's the whole fucking point of the game.
Yeah, that was an odd quote. Hey, I don't want to go talk about the past with Ryan Nelson. He talks about the past all the time.
Because when they lose, he is a sore loser. He gets very sensitive, and he gets triggered very easily by any question that can be remotely viewed as a negative one. So when it is in his mind, he's going to go at you. That's what happens.
Yep. No, you're right. I'm just looking at some of these quotes in Kevin's post-game article. I mean, here's the deal. 4 games to the All-Star break, 3 of them against Atlanta. Atlanta's good.
Yeah.
Took 3 out of 4 from them in Atlanta. 1 more game against Seattle. Seattle's certainly good enough. Better record than the Padres right now.
You take 2-2?
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it. I mean, you're 2-2 and you're 3 over, and the world keeps spinning, and the MOVA globes keep spinning. We'll tell you about them in a moment. But
and this is not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lose sleep if they go 2-2 over the next 4 games. If they go 1-3, I'll kind of agree with your sentiment, which is like they gave it back, because you go 1-3, you're 1 game over 500, right?
Yeah.
Into the break, I'm like, you kind of gave back. You're back where you started. This is where the season started, and the road trip's going to be tough. So you go 2-2 or better, and the MOVA globes are going to keep spinning. But you go 1-3 or worse, and you're like, come on, guys, the world was your oyster a week ago, and you're at home, and you gave it all back, or a lot of it back.
Yeah, and it is not like DEFCON 1. It is not a situation after 3 straight losses where, oh my God, sky's falling.
Correct.
It is not, even though maybe tonight we might sound a little like it because we're kind of a little fired up.
No, we're reacting to more of some of the comments, not really the play.
Yeah, and I feel like most of our reactions this year that have been on the fiery side have been for like quotes. I mean, yeah, tonight was an uninspiring baseball game from the Padres perspective for offense and pitching and defense, everything. It was just uninspiring at all. Same thing with Sunday. I was there. It was god awful. Now, it was actually kind of a good game up until the 7th, but then everything kind of just, went to shit there. But it's not the end of the world right now. We are just sitting here kind of discussing and bracing for all outcomes that would be deemed like bad ones, because they're on a 3-game losing streak right now. And you're trying to think to yourself, right, can they, again, like they've done great this year, after bad stretches, they immediately play good stretches. Like, can they make sure that this 3-game losing streak doesn't turn into 4, doesn't turn into 5 of 6, and doesn't turn into 6 of 7?
Well, the problem is they've lost five straight, 3 times.
I know.
So like they've lost 3 straight. We're not like, well, they're too good to do it again. I mean, they just did it.
They just
Before they went 12-3,
they
they lost
do it all the time.
5 straight. So yeah, they've done it 3 times before the All-Star break. We don't want to see them do it if they do it a 4th time before the All-Star break, that is damn concerning. Like if they do lose each of the next 2 games at home with Michael King and then whomever's throwing Friday against Atlanta. And again, you're playing in front of massive crowds, playing, I mean, you got some advantages here. You're playing at home. You had played well. This was set up beautifully to go 5-3 on the homestand and get to the All-Star break well over 500. It doesn't set up that well anymore because what are you you're 1-3 through the first 8 games. You got to go 3-1 to go 4-4 on the homestand. So we're asking some of the questions we asked earlier in the year about their poor play at home. Let's get back to the conversation after we talk about our friends at Mova Globes. Okay. They've got the Padres globes available. They spin. Like I said, the world's going to keep spinning. The Mova globes are going to keep spinning right now. These are amazing products. All right, this technology founded right here in San Diego, Cardiff by the Sea. These are officially licensed. They have all 30 teams, including the Padres. They spin with artificial or natural light. There are magnets in these balls. It has something to do with the rotation of the earth. I have no clue how it works, but it does work because I have it right here on my kitchen table. It's an amazing keepsake. They truly are. If you use promo code PWS10, you're going to get 10% off. Just click that link in the description down below. But again, 10% off with promo code PWS10, available for all 30 teams, these Mova Globes. Again, the technology from right here in San Diego. If you haven't checked them out, you need to do so by clicking that link in the description down below. Look at those puppies spinning on the screen right now. 6 of them. Look at that, Jim.
I love these things. We might
Oh,
have.
by the way, the breaking news here is Michael, he's very kind to do this, is sending us even more Mova Globes to talk about on the wrap-up show.
It's purely a selfish thing that we are getting new Mova Globes, and it has nothing to do with any of you guys watching us. But just letting you know, we'll be able to highlight and show off some new Mova Globes to show you guys how cool the other ones they have are. So stay tuned.
Can we look at the Corinna Nebula real quick?
Okay.
Because the Corinna, are we getting one of these? No, we're not. Because you wanted like Earth with clouds, and I wanted Earth. Because I would have gotten this if it wasn't, but I want my 5-year-old to like know what the Earth looks like. And this isn't the Earth. This is like satellite imagery, right?
Correct. I also asked Erin which one she wanted. Does she want the nebula, or does she want the Earth with clouds? And she's picked the Earth with clouds, so I'm not going to argue with my wife. And
well, Earth with clouds is their top seller.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Did you read the Mova Globes game note?
Yes, I also. Yes, John, I did.
You read the emails?
Yeah, but
look at these things, man. I mean, these are incredible. You can get 10% off these as well. Use promo code PWS10. Click that link in the description down below. Check them out. But this will cheer you up during a 3-game losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Aren't we happy now? Yeah, it's like they won 3 straight after that.
What do you I don't want to bring this comment up.
Bring it. Or no, don't if it's going to get me in trouble.
It's not going to get you in trouble. It won't get you in trouble.
Put it in the private chat.
All right, hold on.
Did they have no one in scoring position tonight? Because they had the home runs?
Probably not.
Were they 0-for-0 with men scoring position tonight? Hold on. I haven't looked at your comment. I just want to look at this box score real quick. They did not have an at-bat with a man in scoring position in consecutive games?
Oh, I'm glad that was asked to Schulte tonight.
Ooh, doggy.
Ooh, doggy.
I didn't realize that. I did not realize that.
That's not good. Oof.
Hold on. What the hell am I scrolling up to? Yeah, no, you don't need to bring that up. That's fair. You don't need to bring that up. Hold on. Let's look at this box tonight. What is Arise hitting? Like recently? Like if we find that
here.
Since the shoulder situation, what's he in? 230, maybe?
I'll tell you, John. I'll tell you exactly what he's doing.
You're going to pull up his last 15, last 30 or whatever.
Yeah, of course, because that's what I have right now in front of me.
Right.
His last 30 games, John, he's hitting 260 with a
His last 7
281
is in 241.
with a 281 on base percentage.
Okay, so I'm a little concerned. I
A
don't know
little
if concerned is
concerned.
the right word.
A little worried.
I'm aware.
Well, more than aware.
Profar, I'm not worried. He was over 4 tonight. Cronenworth has been Cronenworth. Machado, I'm not worried. I think he's taking consecutive offers. I'm not worried. He's been hot. Solano, it'll be interesting to see how they use him with we need to talk about Bogarts, by the way. Merrill, I'm not worried. Kim, I've kind of been worried. Peralta, I'm worried. Higashioka, I'm worried they can't bat him 9 times in the game because he's amazing.
They need to hit him more.
Yeah, exactly. The story is really Xander Bogaerts here. It's like you're getting Xander back. Schill talked about this earlier today. And it's like, we can't play 5 infielders, right? So there's going to be an odd man out, and you're going to put a productive player on the bench. He's talking about Donovan Solano. Xander Bogaerts is going to be your regular at second base, whether people like it or not, and whether he hits or not when he returns. So what does that mean? We had a caller today say, you could kind of platoon Cronenworth because he doesn't hit left-handed pitching, potentially. That might be an opportunity. You can DH guys, you give guys days off. But, Solano is going to go from a regular to a non-regular come Friday with the return of Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, and that's going to be it's going to be a tricky situation, and it's going to be something that I hope they navigate and that it works out. Because if it doesn't work out, oh, baby, that's going to be a problem. You put Xander back in this lineup. He gives you exactly what he was giving you, maybe a little better than before he got injured. Well, even a little better would still be probably close to the worst in all of baseball from position players. And you can't afford to have that, especially if you are sitting down Donovan Solano, who has been very, very, very solid for you and has given you very good production, and better than anything Xander gave you this year at any point, right? Xander didn't even get close to giving what Donovan Solano's given this team over an 159 game stretch, or 159 at bat stretch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gave, and I was not being serious, but Ben Fadden, Talking Friars, subscribe to the channel. He does a really good job for Padres fans. He was in John and Jim in the chat, and he took exception to us being like, well, he hasn't hit. He's
Shut up, Ben.
He's like, actually, he was hitting. Well, he had hit in 6 of 7 to the tune of a 315 batting average, which over a 7-game stretch, every player in baseball is going to do. But he had a 581 OPS before the injury and was hitting 219. And that was with him hitting in 6 of 7 games. So, I'm not going to give him credit for the hitting in 6 of 7 games. I'm just going to say he was who he was, and he's got to be better than that once he returns. And for whatever reason, they've kind of racing to get him back is the wrong word. If he's healthy, he's healthy. So players should return from the IL. Simple as that. And he's had 4 rehab games already in AAA. I think he's going to have 2 more in single A. So 6 games, good amount. So he's going to get, the reps, and then they're going to activate him on Friday, and then there's going to be the All-Star break. But we said today, we're not going to kill him Friday night if he goes 0 for 3 with a strikeout. That's completely unfair, like any player. But, you're going to look up after 5, 6, 7 games and say, is this guy hitting or not? And if he's not, I'm sure there'll be criticism levied towards Xander Bogaerts.
He's got to have a part in his season where he gets hot. He just has to.
Really hot.
Really hot. Overall numbers be damned. If in August he hits 320 with 4 home runs and 20 something RBIs, they need that desperately out of him. And I think there's a lot of pressure on Xander coming back here. I truthfully do, because his backup, who was a guy they picked up off the streets, was doing way better than him. And he's the guy. Xander's the guy that's getting paid $280 million, and the guy that was trying to get his yard work done, but ended up calling Victor Rodriguez, has been far and away a better player than you this entire season.
It's hilarious the way
So
you
like
said that.
you got some pressure on Xander here when he returns because they were playing better without you. You had a replacement in there for you that was playing way better than you, and you were the big money guy. So like when he returns, there's some pressure on him to perform. There really is. And I hope that he does for his sake, because the last thing I think anybody wants to do is come mid-August, he's still hitting around 220 with a sub 600
That's
OPS.
gonna be a problem.
Then it's going to be gloves off. They can't continue to do this. They got to think about the team. And who knows, maybe they do like actually have some balls and say, look, we are picking the team over Xander here, and we are playing the better player at this moment in time, the hotter player, and whoever that is, if it's Donovan Solano or whoever, then so be it. But they can't afford to have Xander play like he was playing before he got injured. They really can't, for a lot of different reasons, not only for the team, but just for their decision making going forward for just this rest of the season.
I agree with you. And I also don't know if you can afford for Donovan Solano to become a back of the bench piece. You know, they're going to have to be creative here to get him at bats. I don't even know the options. Arise got to play. Cronenworth, you think's playing, but maybe he's not against left-handed pitching because he doesn't hit lefties. But you only have so many options here. I mean, you're going to sit Kim. Maybe, I don't know, between Kim and Cronenworth and Solano. I mean, they got some tough decisions to make in terms of who's going to get playing time and who's not. And also, you're not trying to ruffle any feathers here. You had a nice little vibe going, VAR, right? You had a nice little vibes above replacement going.
Shout out Divine Gospel.
Yeah, pick up the T-shirts. You know, you had a nice thing going, and you got to be careful here. And I would say the same thing about the trade deadline dynamic. We've heard before, oh, you can't trade Hosmer. Someone just put that in the chat. Remember that? Like, oh, you're not going to want to do that. You're not going to want to do that.
Fuck the clubhouse up. They just made the NLCS that year. No big deal.
Right. So, I mean, these are things to consider because it's the San Diego Padres. I'm not concerned about the moves they make at the trade deadline. Like, AJ Preller is in that position for a reason. So go make the team better. And if it ruffles feathers, so be it. His job is to make the team better, even if it does ruffle a feather or two. So I'm not going to worry about that. But I am interested to see how they work out the situation with Bogarts. As we've said, even on this video tonight, baseball has a way of working itself out typically, but this becomes an odd one in the short term because I don't know what they do in the short term come Friday. I just assume Donovan Solano sits for a day or two is my assumption.
They're just going to have to be pretty creative. I know we had, I think it was either, I forget his name, Davey. I forget who said this on the radio, Davey or Darren, or it might have been Darren.
Yeah, I forget who it was. Maybe Darren
or Davey. Shout out to you guys. They made a good point. Whoever did, I forget, that maybe the move is instead of platooning Donovan Solano and making him the bench piece, you platoon Jake Cronenworth.
Well, then you platoon them both.
Because Jake against righties is an all-star, like level player. He had another home run tonight off another righty, and Gilbert's an all-star. And versus lefties, he is god-awful. So maybe you use that as like, okay, well, Jake, we're just going to make sure you play only against righties this year and have that. I don't know. They have a lot to work out, and that's why they get paid the big bucks to do it. But whatever they do is going to be, looked at with a microscope.
Well, that means you're platooning two players. You're platooning Jake Cronenworth and Donovan Solano, which is, I guess, better than sitting Donovan Solano potentially. Because, okay, Solano against lefties is hitting 302 this year with an 825 OPS, and Cronenworth against left-handed pitching is a sub 600 OPS. Maybe it's that simple. Maybe it's not, though, because maybe they consider Jake Cronenworth to be a regular regardless. We talked about this earlier with Merrill. Like there were 3 games early. They sat him against lefties. Like, if you want this guy to be the regular and make 150 starts and live up to his potential, you're gonna have to play him against left-handed pitching. And he's hit lefties, I'm sure, better than Jay Cronenworth has. But it'll be interesting. That may be a short-term fix against left-handed pitching. Donovan Solano plays. But what happens when there's 5 consecutive games against right-handed pitching?
Well, whatever it is, I'm just hoping for their sake, and frankly for our sake, because it's going to get louder and louder, that Xander just comes back and he just performs. And I'm not saying Xander's to come back and hit 360, but you got to give at least the same production that you're getting from Donovan Solano. At least that.
But that's a good ask, though. I mean, Solano's been really quality.
285,
really
750 OPS.
Yeah.
With hopefully a little more pop. And if you're not getting that, if you're getting a guy that's going to hit 220 with like a 600 OPS, man, those are conversations that I think the front office and the coaching staff are hoping doesn't happen. Because if that happens and they're losing, dude, you know who everyone's going to be looking at, right?
Who?
His name rhymes with Fander Hogarts.
Machado? I'm kidding.
Tatis.
All right, we'll get back to this conversation. I'm experimenting on the show. You're going to laugh when you see this.
Oh, God.
That's kind of cool. He's got problems. He's got bigger problems than that. If he doesn't hit a home run, the home run derby.
No, you play that and we're automatically muted. Just to let you know.
I like the music. Anyway, here's the deal. If Gunnar Henderson hits a home run in the home run derby, like that's kind of your job to hit a home run in the home run derby. That's why you're in it. And he's supposed to hit 23.5 or something. If he hits 1, you're a winner. So if you use promo code PADSWRAP, that's PADSWRAP, you're getting the free winner on Gunnar Henderson in the home run derby. You're also getting a 50% deposit match on your first deposit. If you deposit $50, they give you 25 free bucks. If you deposit $500, they'll give you $250 free dollars or anything in between. So if you use promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP, click that link in the description down below. You're getting the Gunnar Henderson winner. They're giving you another winner, by the way. You're getting 2 free picks. Plus, you're getting a 50% deposit match. I told Jim, I think I told the wrap-up show earlier this week, maybe in the weekend. I had a big winner this weekend. I won $30. It's pretty big.
Ooh.
Thought about calling out of work this week, but I didn't.
I would have called out of work
because it's not enough to support the family. But I won $30. Jim has had a couple of $400 wins this season. You can play Padres Pick'em, simple higher or lower. Will Manny Machado have higher or lower than a half total base? Will Xander Bogaerts have higher or lower than a half home run? You can play along beginning tomorrow. Padres and Mariners, game 2 of their series. You can play across sports, WNBA, college football, NFL coming back. But remember to use that promo code, PADSWRAP. Let's play this one more time, Jim. I think that's more for like Instagram. That's like vertical video.
I just said some shit that if that was like unmuted, ooh.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Okay.
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know.
By the way, join us tomorrow. No wrap-up show tomorrow. We're in Vegas. It's an afternoon game as well.
We're going to watch Team USA basketball.
Yes, we're going to watch Team USA tomorrow night at T-Mobile. We're going to be in Vegas for John and Jim. Of course, we'll talk about the Padres Mariners, but we're also talking a lot about Mountain West football, San Diego State, because we're going to be in Vegas for Mountain West Media Days. But join us on John and Jim. Our next wrap-up show is actually going to be Friday night for Atlanta and San Diego game 1 of that series. So a bit of a slow week here on the wrap-up show, but we promise you we will be back on Friday. We're traveling 2 days in Vegas where it's only going to be 116. It was 117 today, so it'll cool off.
I saw San Diego State football just posted some pictures from Stadium Swim.
What?
It actually looks kind of chilly there.
Does it?
A little cold, yeah. I don't think it. I
Are
think
you gonna bring a sweatshirt?
I might bring a quarter zip, actually.
I love a good quarter zip, by the way. Living in
Yeah.
San Diego, man, it's the best thing in the world.
Here's what we think
Looks
of
chilly.
the 3:40 start time, Chad.
I think it's kind of odd. I assume it's because Seattle's staying in the West so they can play it at that time
What
as
do I think
opposed
of
to
it?
earlier. It's good when you have a 3 o'clock radio show. It's really good.
It's really good. It's the best for us. Yes, we
Wow,
will die.
It looks warm.
We're gonna die. Sorry.
Well, we're not
tonight was,
doing the
tonight was
show
a potty
outside.
mouth night. I'm sorry.
You really are.
Sorry about that. Have you
Anyway,
packed yet?
so- what's that?
Have you packed yet?
Basically, you know me. What are you bringing?
Clothes.
Okay. Sounds nice. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm bringing all kinds of things. And who the hell knows?
My
What are you
son-
wearing for Team USA Canada tomorrow night?
Close.
Is there a betting line? I know it's an exhibition, but you got to be able to bet on that, right?
Is there anything on Underdog Fantasy for it?
I'm Googling it. Yeah, is that on Underdog? It's got to be on Underdog, right?
Come on, baby.
I'm playing that if it's on Underdog. Is it?
No.
Arguable? We click on basketball.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think about Bronny tomorrow? Higher or lower than 6.5 points against Miami in Summer League?
Go lower.
Okay.
3.5 rebounds, dude. Lower.
What is this? Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, no, I don't see it right now. But there might be a line somewhere.
Gunnar Henderson.
What are you talking about? Let me get to the superhero JD Gaucho. Oh, look at this. Thank you, JD Gaucho. It says, go visit the Pinball Hall of Fame in Vegas. What do you think about that? Or should we get to the Pinball Hall of Fame? I've heard it's amazing, actually. My brother's been there. I've heard it's amazing. I might hit it up Thursday. I don't think Jim's going to the Pinball Hall of Fame. Is it outside or is it inside? Hopefully it's inside. Otherwise, it's melted. All right. So subscribe
I'm trying
to our
to-
content. What
All
are you
right,
doing?
here we go. Wait. Okay, cool. All right, tomorrow. What do I got here? I got Bronny James lower than 3.5 rebounds.
Are you playing this?
Yeah, I did the Gunnar Henderson higher than a half home run.
Well, that's not until next Monday.
Oh, I gotta wait. Shit.
Well, if it's the home run derby, you do, because the home run derby isn't tomorrow.
And then Caitlin Clark tomorrow higher than 8.5 assists.
Free money? What's that pay if that hits?
$10 pays $63.
You used to be Mr. Play for 500.
But with the Scorcher pick, you can't.
It's
bet
only
more
$10.
than $10 max. Trust me, I would
Yeah,
have
we
done
play
like
5, 6, 7 things.
I would have done like $1,000, but I don't have that much money.
Wah, wah. Use promo code PODRAP, play along, Underdog Fantasy, get those free picks, get the 50% deposit match. All right, join us tomorrow on the radio, San Diego Sports 760, free iHeartRadio app, or on YouTube. Search for John and Jim 760. We'll talk Padres Mariners. We'll join you from Las Vegas as well. Please subscribe to the wrap-up show, year-round content for Padres fans looking to get to 6,600 subscribers with your help. Please subscribe, smash the like button for us, and follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super thanks if you're here on replay. Thank you for your support of our sponsors, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor. If you have an insurance need, let him save you money and time. Click the link in the description down below. Mova Globes, pick them up, use promo code PWS10 and get 10% off. Click the link in the description down below. Again, promo code PWS10. We told you about Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code PODSWRAP, that is PADSWRAP. We'll catch up tomorrow from chilly Las Vegas, Nevada. For Jim, I'm John. This has been the wrap-up show.
Bye-bye.
Chilly.